Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, let's jump right into it. Today, we're unpacking the definitive 2026 playbook for modern social media management, and we're pulling this straight from top industry experts, people who've actually run social for massive brands like Gymshark, Squarespace, and Kickstarter. Honestly, if you think social media is still just about posting cool pictures and, chasing likes, you are in for a serious wake-up call today. The landscape has completely shifted, and the strategies that worked yesterday, they're going to leave you completely in the dust tomorrow. To really set the stage for where we're heading, just listen to Canva's Lauren Friend. She hits the nail right on the head here. The era of chasing cheap viral moments is completely over. Sure, going viral is a fun little dopamine hit, but if it doesn't actually connect with people or lead to a meaningful action, it's practically useless to the business. We are living through a massive paradigm shift right now. The old way, where you just write a post, hit publish, and sit back to watch the likes roll in, that's dead. The 2026 reality means treating social media as a highly strategic, revenue-driving business function. It literally sits right at the intersection of creativity and deep analytics, and it requires some truly intense cross-functional collaboration. So, to make this all super easy to digest, we've structured this explainer into a 5-part playbook. We're going to cover 1. The new social reality. 2. Strategy over shiny objects. 3. AI and the modern stack. 4. Measuring value, not virality. And 5. The SMM iceberg model. Let's get started. Section 1. The new social reality, from posters to connective tissue. Let's look at how the daily life of social professionals has radically evolved from just being posters to actually being the connective tissue of a business. The sheer breadth of modern responsibility here is absolutely staggering. As Taylor Lauren points out, managers are wearing so many hats simultaneously now. Think about it. In a single day, you might be shaping a massive brand narrative, jumping into a Slack thread to manage a real-time crisis at like 10:30 p.m., and then turning around to translate deep funnel data so the executives can actually understand the ROI. And through all of that, you have to maintain this intense cultural fluency. You've got to know exactly when your brand has permission to jump on a trend and when it just looks like sad bandwagoning. Section 2, Strategy over shiny objects, architecting the funnel. Here's where we look at how the absolute best brands stop chasing competitor trends and start building bulletproof strategy. Creatorpreneur Brandon Smithwork uses this incredibly precise chain of command. The golden rule here? Never, ever start with tactics or content. You always start with the business goals. If the business wants revenue, well, that informs the marketing goals, which then dictates the social goals, which finally tells you what content to actually make. Right? If your strategy isn't grounded in this exact flow, you're just going to end up spending your time imitating competitors instead of driving actual measurable impact. Now, this strategy requires a really specific balance. Smart social management means 80% of your content should be highly structured and tied directly back to those business goals we just talked about. But you purposely leave 20% of your calendar totally flexible. Why? For those spontaneous cultural moments. That random TikTok that rides a trend perfectly, that's not a distraction. It's a KPI accelerator that feeds a massive new audience right back into your structured funnel. Section 3. AI and the modern stack. Your new assistant. Let's talk about the tech that's enabling all of this, specifically how artificial intelligence is completely transforming our workflows. I am absolutely obsessed with this analogy from creative strategist Jack Appleby. He says, AI is Robin, you still gotta be Batman. People are so terrified AI is going to steal their jobs, but the reality is it really just wants to make your life easier. AI is the ultimate sidekick for sure, but it can never replace the human empathy, the emotional resonance, and that cultural nuance you need to genuinely connect with an audience. So what exactly should Robin be doing? Well, the smartest teams are treating AI as the world's fastest intern to handle those repeatable tasks. Drafting your initial copy, suggesting keyword-rich hashtags, pulling raw data, even generating B-roll concepts. Listen, if you let AI get you 70% of the way there, you get to spend all your human energy on that final 30%. That's the high-level relationship building and strategy that actually moves the needle. And honestly, you're going to need that extra time because of this next major shift. Social search is the new SEO. Platforms like TikTok and Instagram are massive search engines now. Gen Z isn't Googling new restaurants, they're searching TikTok. This means your captions can't just be a quick witty punchline anymore. Your whole writing process has to evolve to treat every single post as a strategic SEO play. We're talking keyword-rich paragraphs and optimized on-screen text so those discovery engines can actually find you.
Section 4, measuring value, not virality, proving the ROI. So, how do we actually prove all this hard work to the company leadership?
Well, if you're a social media manager, congratulations. You're officially an analyst now. You've got to transition away from those outdated vanity metrics. Likes and follower counts, they rarely tell the whole story. Instead, you've got to focus strictly on value metrics. Dwell time is a massive predictor of brand lift. Shares and saves, those actually prove your content was valuable enough for someone to pass along. And sentiment analysis tells you how people actually felt, not just that they blindly clicked a button. Think about the sheer amount of work you put into a single post. Now, wrap your head around this. At least 70% of your audience misses any given post the very first time you publish it. 70%? This is exactly why you absolutely must repurpose your content. You have to get off that treadmill of creating brand new posts every single day. If you have a hit, play the hits. Reposting proven content reaches that massive chunk of your audience that totally missed it the first time around. To measure everything correctly, you've got to align specific platforms to distinct roles in the customer journey. For example, if you use Instagram for awareness and discovery, you should be measuring shares and saves. LinkedIn, that's for brand amplification, so there you're measuring conversions. Defining these roles upfront is absolutely crucial because it stops you from measuring success against the wrong benchmarks, and it makes a reporting to the executive team infinitely clear. Section 5, the SMM iceberg model. Deep talent profiles. Finally, let's explore the actual human talent you need to execute this complex 2026 playbook. Elfried Samba, the former global head of social at Gymshark, breaks down the ideal talent profile into this brilliant iceberg model. Up at the top, you have creativity. That's the visible tip everyone sees. Just below the surface, you've got platform mechanics, the rules of play. But the deep, massive base of this iceberg, that is psychology and social dynamics. It's the deep behavioral fluency you need to understand human cause and effect, and knowing exactly where your brand fits into the broader culture. And Sama makes a pretty bold statement about that top layer. He says, creativity is actually the minimum requirement. I don't think it's a differentiator. The crucial takeaway here is that, look, almost everyone in this job can spot trends and be creative, but mastering those deeper layers beneath the surface, really understanding human psychology and cultural dynamics, that is the secret sauce that truly moves communities and drives real business growth. And here is the harsh reality for businesses today. Because social is the walking, breathing representation of your brand, leadership has to build real career headroom. If businesses don't create growth paths and compensation that actually match social's massive impact, top operators are simply going to walk away. They'll go start their own agencies or creator-led businesses. The career ladder cannot just hit a brick wall at head of social. So we're going to leave you with this really provocative thought to chew on today. As AI takes over more of the daily operations, emotional intelligence, trust, and community building are becoming the absolute ultimate competitive advantages in business. And guess what? The people who know how to do that at scale are running your social media right now. So will your next CEO come from social media? Honestly, it's highly likely. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.